The fascinating truth about famous historical hoaxes. Throughout history, humans have always been fascinated by the mysterious, the sensational, and the unbelievable. Sometimes, this fascination leads to the creation of elaborate hoaxes, deceptive schemes designed to fool people and capture their imagination. These hoaxes, whether for profit, amusement, or political gain, often reflect the social and cultural context of their times. Let's explore some of the most famous historical hoaxes and uncover the fascinating truths behind them. The Piltdown Man, 1912. In 1912, amateur archaeologist Charles Dawson claimed to have discovered the missing link between apes and humans in a gravel pit in Piltdown, England. The find, which included a human-like skull and an ape-like jawbone, was hailed as a monumental discovery in the field of paleoanthropology. The Piltdown Man seemed to confirm the then prevailing belief that human evolution had occurred in England. This discovery bolstered national pride and appeared to place Britain at the forefront of evolutionary research. The Piltdown Man was not only embraced by the public, but also by the scientific community, despite some early skeptics. For over 40 years, the Piltdown Man was considered a key piece of evidence in the study of human evolution. Its authenticity, however, was questioned periodically, with various scientists noting inconsistencies in the fossil's features. In 1953, the hoax was definitively exposed through advanced scientific techniques such as fluorine dating. The test revealed that the skull fragments were a mixture of a medieval human skull and the jawbone of an orangutan, with the teeth filed down to appear more human. Further examination showed that the bones had been artificially stained to match the surrounding gravel. The motive behind the hoax remains unclear, but it likely involved a combination of a desire for fame and recognition, and possibly an attempt to mislead certain prominent scientists of the time. The exposure of the Piltdown Man hoax significantly hindered scientific progress by misleading researchers for decades, causing a re-evaluation of numerous other findings and theories in the field of paleoanthropology. The Cardiff Giant, 1869. In 1869, workers digging a well in Cardiff, New York, unearthed a massive stone figure that appeared to be a petrified prehistoric giant. Dubbed the Cardiff Giant, it quickly became a sensation, drawing thousands of visitors eager to see the supposed ancient marvel. Some people believed it was evidence of the biblical giants mentioned in the book of Genesis. The Cardiff Giant was promoted as a significant archaeological discovery, attracting attention from scholars, clergymen, and the general public. Its discovery sparked debates about the existence of giants in ancient history and the veracity of biblical accounts. Newspapers of the time extensively covered the find, adding to its allure and mystique. The truth, however, was far less mysterious. The Cardiff Giant was a creation of George Hull, an atheist who wanted to mock biblical literalists. Hull had the giant carved out of gypsum, buried it on his cousin's farm, and then arranged for it to be discovered. The plan was meticulously executed. Hull hired sculptors to create the giant, which was then treated with acids and dyes to give it an aged appearance. Despite being exposed as a hoax within a few months by prominent paleontologist Othniel Charles Marsh, who recognized it as a carved statue rather than a petrified being, the Cardiff Giant continued to attract attention. P.T. Barnum, the famous showman, even created a plaster replica and displayed it as the real giant, further blurring the lines between truth and deception. The Cardiff Giant remains a fascinating example of how easily people can be fooled by sensational claims and the lengths to which individuals will go to perpetuate a hoax. The Loch Ness Monster, 1930s. The legend of the Loch Ness Monster, affectionately known as Nessie, gained worldwide attention in the 1930s after a series of alleged sightings and photographs emerged from Loch Ness in Scotland. The most famous of these, the surgeon's photograph taken in 1934, showed a serpentine head and neck rising from the water. Nessie became a global sensation, with numerous expeditions launched to find the elusive creature. The fascination with Nessie can be traced back to earlier folklore and occasional reported sightings dating back to the 6th century. However, it was in the 20th century that the legend truly captured the public's imagination, partly fueled by advances in photography and media coverage. The surgeon's photograph, taken by Robert Kenneth Wilson, a London gynecologist, was widely regarded as definitive proof of the monster's existence and was published in newspapers around the world. Decades later, in 1994, the surgeon's photograph was revealed to be a hoax. One of the perpetrators, Christian Sperling, confessed that the photo was staged using a toy submarine fitted with a model head and neck. The elaborate hoax was a collaboration between Sperling, his stepfather, Marmaduke Wetherill, and Wilson. They had hoped to get revenge on the Daily Mail, which had ridiculed Wetherill for earlier claims about finding Nessie's footprints, which were also proven to be a hoax. Despite this revelation, the Loch Ness Monster remains a beloved part of Scottish folklore. Sightings continue to be reported, and the legend of Nessie has become a significant tourist attraction, drawing visitors from around the world. The Nessie legend illustrates the enduring human fascination with the unknown, the power of myth to captivate imaginations, and the sometimes blurry line between belief and skepticism. The Tasaday Tribe, 1971. In 1971, the world was introduced to the Tasaday, a purportedly primitive tribe living in isolation in the Philippine rainforests. Discovered by Manuel Elizalde, a government official, the Tasaday were depicted as living in Stone Age conditions, with no knowledge of agriculture, metal, or modern society. Their existence was hailed as a remarkable anthropological find and drew international media attention. The Tasaday were presented as living in caves, using stone tools and foraging for food, seemingly untouched by modern civilization. This discovery was celebrated as a window into humanity's distant past, and the Tasaday became the subject of numerous documentaries, books, and academic studies. Elizalde's promotion of the Tasaday included orchestrated visits by journalists and celebrities, further boosting the tribe's profile. However, in the 1980s, journalists and researchers began to uncover inconsistencies in the Tasaday story. When anthropologist Oswald Eaton visited the tribe unannounced, he found them wearing modern clothes and using contemporary tools. Investigations revealed that the tribe's primitive lifestyle had been staged, possibly as part of a political scheme by the Marcos regime to attract tourism and international aid. Members of the Tasaday admitted they had been coerced into posing as primitive people and were, in fact, part of a larger, more modern community. The exposure of the Tasaday hoax led to a reassessment of the tribe's portrayal and the ethical implications of their manipulation. It serves as a cautionary tale about the dangers of manipulating cultural narratives for political and economic gain, and highlights the responsibility of researchers and the media to approach such discoveries with critical scrutiny. The Hitler Diaries, 1983. In 1983, the German magazine Stern announced a sensational discovery, the personal diaries of Adolf Hitler, purportedly covering the years 1932 to 1945. The diaries were hailed as one of the most significant historical finds of the century, promising to provide new insights into Hitler's thoughts and the workings of the Nazi regime. The excitement was palpable, with historians and the public eagerly anticipating revelations from the documents. However, doubts about the authenticity of the diaries quickly arose. Forensic analysis revealed that the paper, ink, and bindings were all modern, and the handwriting did not match known samples of Hitler's writing. The diaries were the work of Konrad Kujau, a skilled forger who had created them for profit. Kujau had a history of producing fake Nazi memorabilia, and his forgeries had fooled numerous collectors and experts. The exposure of the Hitler Diaries as a hoax was a major embarrassment for Stern and the historians who had initially endorsed the diaries' authenticity. The episode highlighted the need for rigorous verification in historical research and the dangers of sensationalism in media. It also underscored the lengths to which individuals will go to exploit historical interest for personal gain. The Hitler Diaries hoax serves as a reminder of the importance of skepticism and the potential for deception in the world of historical artifacts. Conclusion: these famous historical hoaxes reveal much about human nature, our willingness to believe the extraordinary, our susceptibility to deception, and our desire for sensational stories. They also underscore the importance of skepticism and critical thinking in evaluating remarkable claims. While these hoaxes were eventually exposed, they serve as reminders that truth often lies beneath layers of myth and fabrication. As we continue to explore the mysteries of our world, the lessons of these hoaxes remain relevant, urging us to question, investigate, and seek the truth in all things.